Good day, Pastor. I've learned in one of your messages that we are not Pentecostal Christians. My question is, what are we to be called? Christians. And if you're referring to the message where I did mention something of that nature, what exactly I was talking about there is that Pentecostalism is based on the message we get from the book of Acts chapter 2, where the disciples received the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other tongues. So when you study the history of Pentecostalism, it is based on the receiving of the Holy Spirit. So those who believe in receiving the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues often describe themselves as Pentecostals. But the irony is, the people who received the Holy Spirit on the day of Pentecost were not celebrating Pentecost. And that's the point I was making in that message. The actual Pentecostals were outside. They were not in the upper room where the disciples received the Holy Spirit. They didn't receive the Holy Spirit. The Pentecostals didn't receive the Holy Spirit. They were celebrating Pentecost outside. The disciples were separated for fear of the Jews and were not celebrating Pentecost on that occasion. They were afraid to be outside, and they gathered for prayer and not for Pentecost. And then the Holy Spirit came upon them. So it's ironical that anybody will call those who were not celebrating Pentecost Pentecostals. But I don't by that mean to criticize those who are addressed or who describe themselves as Pentecostals, because somehow, people need some kind of nomenclature to describe themselves. And I don't have any problem with that. But we're all Christians. And God is not going to be asking us whether we were Baptists, Anglicans, Pentecostal, Charismatics, or what. We are Christians. And that's the most important.